Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Authentically Albertan. Today, I am joined by Dana, who is a chef. Dana, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good?
How are you doing?
Yeah, been good. Yeah, excited to interview more people here in Grande Prairie. So it's
Okay.
been a fun time. Shame it's cold, but hopefully it gets warm later down the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
How has this season been for you as a chef? I know sometimes you do events and such.
It's been all right, I guess. I don't know. I'm in the process of doing a new business.
Right?
So it's I've been focusing a little bit more on that in the last couple weeks.
Can we get a hint of this new business?
Yeah, I was going to talk about it. Basically, I'm working with the Blue Building project here in Grande Prairie.
Right. I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a big community space with 6 other vendors and then Grain Bin Brewery,
Mm-hmm.
who I'm going to be collaborating with a bit.
Who we interviewed last season.
Yes. I'm going to be collaborating with them a little bit. They'll be doing the drinks and I'll be doing a small restaurant out of there. So
you'll be there with your own team?
I'll be there with my own team.
Okay.
Yeah, but they'll have their team, but we'll work together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll run the food and beverage part of the building. There is other food there though.
How do you build your team? What do you look for?
Oh, just people that really love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I mean, I'm willing to teach people that have an interest in cooking if they're younger, and then I don't know, just great attitudes.
Have you had a lot of experience teaching people?
I've had a little bit of experience teaching people. I've had a couple apprentices under me, right?
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
But that's great that you've got this new plan laid out in this big blue building.
Yes, it's a whole new level of my business now. So, yeah.
Will it be? I know sometimes they hire you to go to events to do some catering.
Yes.
So would this be a more, permanent, localized sort of venue?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Permanent, and I'm gonna also bring in some local farms and stuff like that. We'll do pop-up dinners showcasing those farms.
Nice. Those
and there will be
ingredients.
one in there as well. Yeah, an organic farm's going to be in there.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, that's great to hear of this collaboration and people working together. And again, just really building that sense of community.
Yeah, it's going to be really great.
So how does it work when you're catering and also having this space? Do you have to close it down when you're catering elsewhere, or?
I just plan to have people working there.
Gotcha.
And then I'll probably go do the catering part of it again, or have people help with both.
Yeah, could work.
Because I will need assistance, absolutely. So
yeah, it's a big project. I mean, two big projects.
2 big projects, yeah. So.
Well, I'm excited to see it. And when can we expect this to come?
The date is slightly up in the air still, but we're hoping by Canada Day we have at least some food going and a party in the patio.
Yeah.
That is the goal.
Gotcha.
So it's been the goal the whole time to be Canada Day open. So I think we're going to get there, but I also don't 100% know yet.
What requirements?
Definitely the summer.
What requirements did the space need to have for it to happen?
Oh, a lot of different things. It's
Can
still
you imagine the regulations and all that?
Oh yeah, and I'm still getting some of the information sent back just for like approvals of other things as well, because it was an old building, so they've renovated and they've updated everything. So now I need to find that updates and send that in and get the measurements and
get the permits.
Yes, permits and everything, and then so it's.
But you've done this before, right?
I haven't opened anything from the ground up. But
all right. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a new experience you're walking into.
It's a new experience, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exciting.
it is really exciting.
Definitely exciting. Wow. So tell me, if you weren't a chef, if you weren't involved in the culinary world at all, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
I honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Chefing has been more than half my life, right? But I think, I don't know, I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid. That never panned out. And then maybe a real estate agent. if I had the stage
Well,
presence,
now
I could
that you've
probably
got,
pull off a comedian,
yeah.
but probably not because it's a hard industry to be into.
Where can we find you when you're not in the kitchen?
Probably at my house. That's about it. I'm usually home, or I have a mini dash hound, so he takes up a lot of chunk of my free time. Yeah, he's like my second job at home.
Taking care of him?
Yeah, taking care. Well, he's just a needy little guy, but great. So I usually walk him
How
twice a
old is
day.
he?
He's only a year and a
Oh,
couple
he's just a
months.
puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's still young.
he's so young. Yeah, so lots of walks, playtime, all that stuff, right? So he's like a full-time job outside of working.
Yeah. But that must be a lot of fun. You
Yeah.
know, relaxes you a little bit playing
Oh,
with him.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And like honestly, the summertime, I love sitting on my deck and just, enjoying the weather.
Chilling with the dog.
Yeah. And like I mean Grand Prairie weather usually is nicer than this right now in June. So deck time is like great. So it's
How did this passion for cooking and for the cuisine start out? Did you have family members who were involved in it?
My parents are both amazing cooks. Always like from the start.
Professionally?
Not professionally,
Ah, okay.
but my dad, when I was little, he had a really good friend who ran a donut shop. And we would hang out there at the donut shop. And he's a chef. He teaches culinary school in Belleville, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, kind of grew up around that for a bit because we would just be hanging out in this donut shop. And he was a chef. And then my parents were good cooks. And a lot of family members.
But it's completely different, though. It's completely different from what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely different. Yeah.
So your parents were great cooks and you really enjoyed the taste of their cooking.
Oh, yeah. Really good food. My dad was always like interested in trying different things too. So that's like a good, stepping stone.
Good balance. Yeah.
Into wanting to learn more about food. And I mean, if you like to eat it, then you have no problem cooking it, right?
Was there one dish in particular that you remember your parents serving that you really liked it?
Oh, goodness. There's always like that comfort food, which is like a very big staple, apparently, for a lot of people, where it was like mushroom soup and rice. And I know that's not like, the best cuisine, but that was like when you were growing up, that was like the comfort food. And then like my dad would do like cedar plank salmon and stuff like that, like crazy.
sounds
Like
delicious,
you go from like your basic like mushroom soup, which is a comfort food thing, and then to like cedar plank salmon on the barbecue. And we always had a garden, right? Like all the time. So fresh veggies, all that good stuff, right?
You just pick it from the ground up.
Oh, pick it from the ground, and like tons of potatoes and fresh peas and all that stuff.
But that salmon sounds delicious.
The salmon was really good. Yeah.
I can't relate to the soup part because don't walk out of this interview, but I don't like soup.
It wasn't the soup. So you take like the soup and you just use it as a sauce. You don't make it into a soup.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they would put Italian meatballs in it, but I know a lot of people had pork chops and stuff growing up. It's a very like staple dish that people.
Maybe I was thinking of mushroom cream.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, like the so like that white soup thingy.
That's what it is.
Oh, that's what it is. Never mind.
It's literally just Campbell's soup.
Oh,
it was a bad example of what my parents could cook, but that was the one dish that we had all the time, right? Like it was like you just throw it together, but it was amazing. So when you're a kid, not now. It's not the same flavor.
Did you go to post-secondary for culinary, and where did you go to?
I went to George Brown College, but then I also finished at Humber because I worked and I did an apprenticeship program, and all I could do was the first semester of George Brown was a lot when I had a job because I'd be working and then I'd start falling asleep in my theory classes and all that stuff because it's so hard to stay awake when you work nights after school.
What do you learn in the theory classes?
Just like all sorts like about vegetables, and they go through like different things like your sauces, your vegetables, your
Like, is there a science behind pairing things?
They do that a little bit later,
Hmm.
like in the they don't really do that in the theory class of it, but they did that with the wine class where you did a pairing. And
That's
that was
interesting.
actually a class in
Yeah.
culinary school. No complaints. Was at 10 a.m., but start early. Uh, yeah, and then I mean, it was just like you pretty much go through what they would teach you in school, the basics of it in the theory class.
Aside from that experience in post-secondary, what did you learn from it?
I mean, that's like when you go to culinary school, it's really good for the fundamentals. To learn what like everybody's like French, like classic French cuisine dishes, chicken supreme with mushroom sauce. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like those things. Um, how to make a consomme properly, like all those, basic culinary things that you need to know over time. And then eventually you just incorporate that into your life and your cooking skills, right?
Do you think you were prepared when you left it for the real experience?
I was already doing the real experience is the
Okay.
only thing. Like I
Yeah.
was working in a restaurant and then I was going to culinary school at the same time. I started my like the end of high school, I did a co-op program. So I went and I got set up in a restaurant, and then I would work there for my full day of school, and then I'd clock in and I'd work at night. So I'd work like 12-hour shifts,
Whoa.
sometimes longer. Yeah, and
No
then
wonder you fell asleep in theory class.
right, yeah, yeah. When
Yeah.
and then I did school later on, and I'd go to work after pretty much every day because it's still full time. Is you had to support yourself, right? Um, but yeah, that's why I did part time. Finish at Humber.
Yeah. It's a crazy schedule to maintain
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So,
Wow.
but it was really good, and you meet a lot of like other chefs.
For sure, the networking part of it,
Yeah,
you can't miss it.
and there's still people that I still talk to today that I went to culinary school with, right? So I still follow them and catch up and see what they're up to, and
Yeah. When you left post-secondary, what was I guess, the ladder of the kitchen that you had to go through? Because, I mean, when you leave it, you gotta start at the bottom, right?
pretty much. I mean, I was already doing my apprenticeship at the restaurant that I was at, and I stayed there for 5 years, which I had another job on top of it usually. Um, and then I would just kind of work there and like work my way up through the entire line. Like basically, you start on appetizers pretty much. If you're an apprentice, you're on appetizers. You work that, and then you eventually go through. You get to your mains. You get to cook on the grill. You get to work saute, and then I went to this like massive bar in Toronto called Real Sports Bar and Grill. It's huge. Seats 1,000 people. And then I eventually was like, oh, I want to be lead cook here. And then just started doing that and then growing my way through there. Yeah.
What was your favorite position?
Oh, there or in general?
I mean, in general, when you're telling me that they had you on appetizers at the beginning and then they had you
um,
working the grill.
yeah, grill is always the best for sure. Grill. But saucier was like
Hmm.
sauce and grill. Um, and you have to make like a ton of sauces and have it ready and do all your proteins and all that stuff. That's
Gotcha.
for sure the most rewarding because if you make that sauce perfect, you're like, yes, done a good job today.
You've also got your red seal. How did
Yeah.
that come about?
Well, there's if you do your apprenticeship program, I think it's everywhere actually now, but there's tons of grants.
Hmm.
So you do your block, you get a grant. Like every block of school, you get a grant. And then when you write your red seal, you get a grant as well. So that was enticing because when I did it, which I think was in 2006, I got my red seal. Um, they're really pushing for cooks then. And I think they still are because it's a hard industry to fill.
Right.
Um, so there was a lot of incentive. And then I did my schooling and I was like, okay, I worked a little bit. I was like, I got to go write that. Well, all the school is pretty much fresh. And I had my hours because I had worked. You have to get a certain amount of hours. So I've been working the entire
Well, I
time.
imagine with those like full-time shifts that you had.
Yeah, I had the
Yeah,
hours in no
you gotta
time.
get them. You bet.
and then the school blocks too. So it was, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna go write it, and that's it.
Is it a test that you have to write?
Yeah,
Oh, what are
yeah.
the questions like?
They're very like from the textbook of cooking. Yeah, there's like 15 on garde manger and 15 on protein, and
But is it like remembering the ingredients and remember the
some of
procedures?
them is ingredients. Yep, like if it's like a basic, like your basic sauces, your 5 mother sauces, you got to know the ingredients to that. And then some of it was like how to properly clean a meat slicer. So they're like very like, you know, all over in questions. But I mean, I don't remember them all. It was a long time ago. Don't quote me on that if you're writing your Red Seal next week.
But it's good to see that again you put on this effort and just it keeps getting rewarded.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
building up, building up. You mentioned that it's an industry where they're always looking for people. Does that mean that people are leaving all the time?
Yeah, definitely. People leave
Gotcha.
constantly.
Yeah.
I think like for women especially, they go up into it and then they're like, I want to have a family. And then they never really go back into the restaurant life. I mean, it's hard on your body. I mean, you work 14 hours a day in a restaurant. You got to have the mindset for that.
What would you say is one misconception that people have about the industry, the cooking industry?
That every chef has a signature dish, because it's not true. We're not on all on Hell's Kitchen. Because if people ask me that a lot, and I don't have a specific signature thing.
Maybe it's because you're also a private chef.
Yeah.
So maybe they're thinking, okay, maybe like there must be a reason why they hired her specifically. Maybe she's got like her own menu.
I have my own menu, but I mean, like, realistically, I don't have anything that I specifically always do. I mean, I do have items that I usually do, but I wouldn't call them all my signature dishes. Right?
Gotcha. How do you build your own menu?
Oh, I just kind of constantly research different things I want to do. Right? If I have like, I try things out, I'm like, okay, that's going to work. I'm going to run with that for a little bit. And then just keep going from there.
Is there a certain regional cuisine that you're stronger with compared to others?
Right now, I'm like kind of obsessed with South American food.
I can help you out with that.
Yeah, perfect. Like I really like Argentinian flavors and stuff like that. That's where I am right now. I'm not saying I'm going to stick with that because I just like to try things out. So it's, I mean, I've been playing around with all those flavors in the last year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I have all sorts of different items, but
playing along with avocados, I imagine, beans. Yeah.
Beans, avocados.
Plantain.
Yeah, plantain. Just like there's some really good peppers. I can't name them all right now. Like really good peppers that they make paste out of.
Yeah.
Down there too. So, you know, they just add like this really nice warm flavor to the food.
Wait. Peppers warm. When you mean warm,
not like
you mean
spice.
spicy?
Not spice. I don't find them spicy. I just mean like warming, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because when it comes to Latin American food, Latin American cuisine, I know that like not all of us like spicy food. Like I'm from Colombia.
Okay.
And we don't eat a lot of spicy food over there. It's mostly just Mexico eats a lot of spicy food and other places, but Colombia not that much.
It's not spicy, but there's an element of like the only way I can really describe it is warmth. Like almost comforting. Like it doesn't add heat, but it adds that flavor of what like a hot sauce would have, right? If you had a really hot, like flavorful hot sauce, but pull the spice out.
And a lot of that cuisine deals with corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything's made with corn. You deal with corn a lot. So hope you enjoy corn.
Yeah, they have really good like beef dishes though. Very good beef dishes.
Yeah. Mixed in with
corn.
Mixed in with corn, you know, mixed in with
I haven't
like a wrap made out of corn, like
corn tortillas.
Arepa made out of corn. Yeah, exactly. Tortilla made out of corn.
Yeah.
Like the flour, they make flour out of corn.
Yeah.
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 Everything's made with
corn
over there.
But it's delicious though.
Yeah. I would say I miss the fruit the most when it comes to
Oh, okay.
South American cuisine because it's different when you taste it here. It's
Yeah.
sweeter here, and over there you
Really?
get kind of like the raw sourness of it.
Okay.
Like it feels more natural in a way.
That's better.
Yeah,
Interesting. What's your favorite fruit from there?
I'm a big fan of mango.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of mango and a big fan of blackberry. Blackberry specifically tastes more sour over there
Okay.
than it does here. Here it tastes like a dessert. Over
Yeah.
there it doesn't. Over there you make some really good juice out of it.
Really?
Really great juice out of it. That's another thing I miss. That over there it's very cheap to get natural juices.
Yeah.
Over
It's
here,
not
not so
$10
much.
for
Yeah. No, it's not $10 for
a
that.
little tiny vial of juice.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you towards South American cuisine?
Oh, jeez. Honestly, just eating at a couple of South American places. I haven't been there, but I want to go very badly to South America, just travel around. And honestly, just eat different things from different places. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I just had some stuff and I'm like, man, I love all these flavors. I'm just going to keep looking into it, researching my own stuff and playing around with those flavors. So,
So, you've had different experiences. You've been able to work in different environments.
mhm.
Which one would you say you took the most inspiration out of all the environments that you worked in and brought it to your own environment now?
I've taken inspiration from everywhere. Like, I don't have a specific place because I've honestly worked with so many amazing chefs
Hmm.
that, like, I can't, like, I take little bits from everywhere I've been.
I'm talking more in a sense of
Oh,
work culture.
work culture.
Yeah.
I think even still, that's the same
Everywhere?
answer. I've just, like, there's always, like, everywhere I've gone, I've worked with different people and I've picked up, like, a little bit from each person. Like, you learn something from, like, the people above you, just your coworkers,
Gotcha.
everybody, right? Like, I mean, I don't know exact things I've picked up because now I've just, like, meshed everything together into what I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some really good places that I've been and worked at. So,
How long have you been doing this private chef stuff for? Because the way I'm putting it together in my mind is, you left post-secondary, you did a whole bunch of stuff while you were
yeah.
working, on different kitchens, not on your own, still under somebody else,
hmm
and then you finally decide to go on your own. How long have you been on your own for?
I think since 2023, 3 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And since then, how has that process been like? How was the first year on your own? Because that's always like the trial by fire,
Yeah,
right?
it was kind of like, I mean, I think I was a little bit worried at the beginning. But then I just kept kind of like reminding people that I was out there. like, and then I honestly have been lucky to have really good people around, like Grain Bin and 92 Bevco, honestly. Super, super solid. They've backed me a lot, like just recommending me. And then I've just kind of grown clientele over the last few years.
So, Dana, when it comes to your long career, when it comes to your years of experience, what sets you apart from other chefs when it comes to culinary? Have you developed your own personal style? Have you worked with ingredients that have really defined, I guess, your menu?
Yeah, I think that I have a base of specific ingredients that I like to use. And then I also like to just find new items that I want to bring in and incorporate that in. And then just take some of the classic dishes and level them up, different flavors.
When you mean leveling up, what do you mean by that?
Basically, just like taking something that you would have every day, like a bruschetta, and then normally it's like diced up tomatoes and garlic and onions and stuff, and then just roasting those tomatoes and cooking the onions down in balsamic and adding all those flavors in, and then just layering the bread with I actually do a pumpkin seed pesto instead of normal nuts because of allergies.
Oh, okay. So that's a way to kind of replace
Yeah.
that ingredient while
Yeah, and then
keeping
I
the
don't have
flavor.
to really, and then I can keep it nut free I don't have to worry about it when I'm doing big buffets with bruschetta on it.
That's right. Yeah.
Try to just avoid it and causes anyone from having anaphylactic shock. Yeah, so I just kind of do things like that and just change the flavors just a little bit.
Give it your own touch.
Give it my own touch and just like kind of change your palate from your basic stuff that you're always accustomed to.
And that way it sets you apart from the same dish being prepared by another person.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you're not gonna get the Dana experience
Yeah.
with that same dish.
Yeah,
It's
and
gonna
that's
be
kind of my
refined.
whole like path of my business out here is just making it that much different that you're like, oh, okay,
Gotcha.
yeah,
That
was
much
her there.
individual, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have one final question which we like to ask all of the guests in the show. Dana, if you had one word to describe yourself, which one would it be?
I'm gonna say passionate.
I wanted to thank you for coming into the show and, being part of this experience. It's been great listening to you talk about your stories and your career development. Very inspirational to see you just traverse through different environments and then finally decide, okay, I'm going to start to create my own environment, my own thing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where it goes next.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
And thank you guys for watching another episode of Authentically Albertan. We'll see you in the next one. Stay authentic.
Well, and that wraps up another episode of StoryHive On Location Calgary. If you've got a story and want to be featured, don't forget to scan the QR code and apply to be a guest on our show. Stay tuned. See you next time.